Hi everyone, Rob Trahan here with a quick video on how to make a desktop recording with PowerPoint. So this is hopefully going to be a quick video. It's on a topic that is increasingly requested of me to explain. I've already done a lot of work with Canvas Studio and showing people how to use that, but really I think the default here is going to be PowerPoint. This is what most people have installed on the computers. This version I'm using here is Office 2019, so it will also work for Office 2016, but it might look a little different to how you're going to see it right now. If you need to install Office 2019, the best way to do it is to actually run your managed Windows installer, search for Office 2019 and install it that way. If you have any problems doing that, just get in touch, I'll help you out. Right, so I've knocked up this very quick presentation. It's only 4 slides, but basically you make a presentation first and then you record it. Okay, so get all your content down, just as you would have made a traditional lecture. Make sure you leave a little space on each slide to put a talking head over somewhere on it. You don't have to, but I'm recommending that people do. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that students who see the faces of the presenter actually engage a little bit more and learn more from it. So do put your faces on. Even if you do have a face for radio like me, students will thank you for it. Right, so on PowerPoint, on the menu bar at the top, I'm already there, but if you're not, if you click slideshow, and you can see here you've got this button which says record slideshow. Now you can click this and it will take you straight through to the recording tool, or if you click the drop down here you can select the option to record from the current slides, which means you can actually make a recording on each individual slide separately if you wanted to, or you can just record from beginning, start the recording and then cycle through each slide in turn without sort of pausing for breath, or pause for breath, but you won't have to sort of click record again, you'll just go through to the end. So I'm going to click record from beginning here, and what I'm going to do then is come over here and I'm going to just quickly I'm going to change my screen a second, get rid of that. So what happens, so I've got a separate screen set up here now, and it's brought up, PowerPoint's brought up another window which looks like this, black around the edges, presentation in the middle, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to click record, start recording very shortly. In the meantime, if you haven't set up your webcam and your microphone, make sure you've done that. There's this little button here and you should see options for your microphone and camera. You can turn all of that off by clicking the microphone button. That will remove all of your audio and video. Obviously I don't want to do that, or you can just remove the video and keep the audio on. And the distinction between this button and this button is that if you click this, it won't allow you to toggle on the webcam during the recording, but if you leave it as it is and just click that one, it'll toggle it off perhaps for the first slide maybe, and then it'll toggle back on. So I'm going to do that as an example. Other things you've got here is you've got these editing tools. So as long as you're recording, and I mean I can do it now in fact, it won't record because I haven't pressed record, but you've got all these annotation tools down here which are really nice. So if you really want to draw your point to something, use those. I am just going to get rid of all that. And once you've recorded as well, they will actually appear on the recording, and you'll be able to actually edit those in the post recording as well, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to click record, and it's going to give me a 3, 2, 1 count in, and then I'm going to do this. Okay, ready? Welcome to my amazing presentation on how to make desktop recordings with PowerPoint. I've toggled my face on, okay, and then I can either stop there, I can either click stop, or better still I can pause and take a breath and then come back to it, or I can go to the next slides. So I don't have to make multiple recordings for each slide, I can just go straight to the next slide. Here's my next slide. Here's some important information which I'm sure you would have to read if I was actually doing this for real. I've got a blank slide. The blank slide is because in the post edit version of this, I'm going to show you how to resize your webcam video so that you can take up the full screen if you want. And then here's my last slide, motivational message. Hang in there, guys. And then when I'm ready to click, when I'm ready to stop, I'm just going to click stop, and that's it. It's done, right? Now to get back to back to my PowerPoint, there's not this X here. Now, if you click this X, it will give you the option to clear all the recordings on the slide. Don't do that unless you want to start again, okay? Otherwise, there's a tiny little X in the top right. I'm going to click that. And then I'm actually going to bring up my OBS here as well and come back to... If I come back over here, so you can see what's happened over here now, is on each slide, it's actually placed a little recording in the bottom right. Okay, and now we're not recording now, but you can actually edit these. Well, not edit, but you can move these videos around, make them bigger, and you can play them as well.
Last slide, motivational message, hang in there.
There you go. Or I can go to the first slide and click that one.
Welcome to my amazing presentation on how to make desktop recordings with PowerPoint.
Right. Remember this slide? I had it blank. I like to have a couple of slides in a video like that where I want to make a key point, and I sort of do a piece to camera there. I can make that big, center it the best you can. I can never find those little. There you go. So that if I present that, then.
Welcome to my amazing presentation. Slides.
There you go.
The blank slide is because in the posts.
There you go. Right, get rid of that. Okay, the one last thing that you might want to do here is if you feel you got a bit of dead space at the beginning or the end of these clips, you can trim your videos. So let's just do that right at the end here. So if you right click on the video and you click trim, that'll bring up this extra little box. And the green and the red sort of cursors here, you can move across to cut a couple of seconds off the beginning of the end. I'm just going to take like a second off the end. Click OK. And it'll save that. Okay, right, now obviously you can save that as a PowerPoint file, and if you save it as a PPTX file, I should probably do that. Let's save it locally, this PC, desktop. Yeah, that'll do. So that'll save it. It'll also save the recordings, so that when I go back, I'll be able to trim again or re-record a video. If you do need to record, re-record a slide, you can click record slideshow again, click clear, you can clear the narration on the current slide, and then click record from current slide again, and you'll be able to record just for that slide again. And as long as you click stop before moving on to the next slide, it'll just remember that and it'll put it in place. Now if you go to the next slide, be careful because it will override anything you've got on the subsequent slides. Okay, so be careful. Right, so the last thing I need to show you here is how do you get this video out as something you can upload onto Canvas or Canvas Studio. So you need to actually export that video. So I'm going to do that by clicking File. Let me move my face so you can see what you're doing here. How do I do that? Bear with me a second, everybody. Here we go. Move my face over here, and if I click File, and you'll see this menu, Export, and you're going to create a video. Now there's a couple of settings here. You can go for the Ultra HD 4K if you really believe the students are going to have to watch all of your videos in high definition television. Don't do that. I always go for the standard, the lowest resolution possible. Now actually that's not bad in terms of how we're going to be viewing this on monitors and computer screens, even phones and tablets. That resolution is more than sufficient for students to make heads or tails of what you're recording, and it will save you a lot of time in the long run because your file size is going to be much smaller, which means it's going to take a lot less time to upload to wherever it's going afterwards. Okay, and then of course you click create video, and there you go. I always recommend saving it as an MP4 file. That's a bit more compatible with the platforms that we're using, whether that be Canvas Studio or something like YouTube. Although it makes very little difference, to be honest. Okay, and then of course I would just export that, put it on the desktop for now. And there you go. Now you can take that file, you can put it into Canvas Studio. The important thing that you've got to do is generate captions for those. I put a link in the video below on how to do that. Otherwise, I hope that video was useful, and I will see you next time. Cheerio.